Well, good morning, everyone. Can everybody hear me okay? Yes, thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that. I can't hear you, but that's all good. So welcome. My name is John Copeland. I serve as the Director of Cultural Tourism for the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau. And so this morning, I'm going to take you through a little bit about what the Convention and Visitors Bureau is all about, what we do, why we are here, and why we are important to the hospitality and tourism industry here in Miami. So with that, let's jump right in, and I will be sharing my screen. We've got a great little PowerPoint presentation for you this morning, and with that, we'll bounce right in. Make sure I've got audio shared, and away we go. And so, good morning again. And this morning, we're going to be talking about destination marketing, and in specific, what that means for Miami, for our economy, for tourism, for all of these great, wonderful things that we have here in our community. And so what do we do? At the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau, we do primarily two things. Number one, we promote Miami as a vacation destination where visitors and tourists from around the world come to Miami to relax, to recreate, to enjoy our outdoor spaces, our beautiful beaches, and all of the amenities that we have to offer. And the second thing that we do is we promote Miami as a meeting destination. And for a meeting destination, that's very different. It's very much about conferences and conventions and gatherings for business to be done right here in Miami, which is a very important part of our visitor mix. Miami has more than 140,000 jobs in the tourism industry. So we are the #1 job creator here in our community. And this is an important part of the economic makeup of Greater Miami. So when we think about this, you have to put it in perspective. So for all of these visitors, everybody that comes to Miami on an annual basis represents 24.2 million visitors. That's both leisure visitors that are here for recreation, as well as our conference and convention business. So 24.2 million visitors. Now, of those, one of the other interesting caveats we have is about 7.8 million people that are just day trippers. And so these are people that may be driving down from Broward County or Palm Beach County for the day. Could be people that are coming up from the Keys. We even have a lot of visitors that will drive over just for the day from Naples, and they'll just bounce across the state to enjoy Miami. Now, all of these 24.2 million visitors spend $18 billion in Miami. So $18 billion is some serious cash. And that $18 billion goes to help make Miami great, make Miami amazing. And in fact, as many of you will, I'm sure, be finding out soon, that Miami does not have any tax on employees. So you don't pay a state income tax in the state of Florida. Why? Because 38% of all of our state's taxes are collected through sales taxes from these visitors. And so it's an important way we're able to fund and operate our community, everything from our parks and libraries to our infrastructure, water and sewer systems, our police and fire departments. All of these things are paid through with taxes. And our visitor economy generates a lot of revenue to help offset those costs. So it's an important part of the mix here for Greater Miami. Now, the programs that the GMCVB does are primarily delivered through marketing. And so we take our little portion of these taxes that come in from our visitors, and we spin them back out to promote the destination through marketing campaigns, through social media efforts, through hosting travel advisors and travel agents to help them sell Miami and bring more visitors. And so for every dollar that we spend as an organization, we estimate it generates about $63 back into the local economy from these tourism taxes. So it's a big part of the mix here for Greater Miami. So of that, we generate about $234 million in advertising that's generated through our efforts, which equates to 490,000 hotel room bookings. Now, it's important to remember when we think about these taxes and how they're created. So every time a person checks into a hotel room and pays that hotel bill, on the hotel bill will be a room tax. That room tax is part of those tax dollars that are generated. And so a sliver of that room tax will actually flow back into the GMCVB to help us with all of our efforts that we do to promote the destination. You'll also see on here, we have a great PR team. We're constantly working with the press and the media to get higher visibility here for Greater Miami. I'm sure many of you watched maybe during the Super Bowl and you see ESPN and Fox doing their live broadcast from Greater Miami. That is all helped we help that happen through our PR team. And so with that, additional eyeballs on Miami, people thinking about Miami. We have a convention sales and services team that generate over 4,000 meetings here in Miami, bringing in millions of attendees with a great economic impact from just booked meetings. And that's at the convention center or at our local hotels, or potentially even some of the meetings that take place at American Airlines Arena, which now has a new name. So lots of stakeholders and partners in this effort. And as you can see, the tourism industry touches a lot of different areas, everything from vacationers naturally at the top of the list to journalists. You think about all the hotels and restaurants and retail, attractions and museums, which I'll talk about a little bit more in depth later. You have to remember our airlines. Miami International Airport is the gateway to Miami, bringing in millions and millions of visitors a year right through MIA into our community to help generate that $18 billion worth of revenue. And of course, our cruise lines, which unfortunately have been devastated by these latest rounds of shutdowns in the pandemic, but we're hoping to bring them back. And our organization works with a lot of the chambers, a lot of the business improvement districts, certainly our partners in local government at both the city and the county level. But we also work very closely with our residents and neighborhoods because we understand that with this many visitors coming into our community, it's important that the resident quality of life stays as high as possible, as well as our transportation partners and community organizations. So I mentioned a little bit about the pandemic and our current crisis that we are in and slowly emerging from. And so here's a little bit of information about how that is looking currently. So we've seen air travel drop by as much as 76%. Of course, cruise travel is not happening at all, 100% dead in the water right now. Cruises are not able to cruise out of Port of Miami. We are working with our local officials as well as the federal CDC to hopefully get some guidelines in place where they can begin cruising as early as July, which would be wonderful because remember, all of those cruise passengers fly into MIA. They typically will stay in a hotel the night before their cruise. So that hotel stay is room taxes for our community. And then they'll go on their cruise. And when they come back, they may, again, stay in a hotel for a couple of nights, maybe extend their vacation while they're here in Miami. So the cruise industry is an important part of our economic mix. Hotel occupancy is down, although we're seeing it come back up very quickly. Again, as we're looking at these numbers, it's from April to December, so we have to keep that in mind. And then our tourist tax dollars have been devastated, so down 68%. I know even within our organization, we had to lay off employees, my fellow colleagues. We have all taken a reduction in pay. We have really scaled back our efforts because those tourist tax dollars are not there to support everything that we do. And then most unfortunate of all, we've lost 24% of our hospitality jobs. So as we are looking at recovering, one of the encouraging things we're seeing right now is a lot of restaurants and hotels are beginning to hire again. They need employees to get back to work so that we can get our recovery going again and start bringing in all of our visitors from outside and inside our country. So what have we been doing during this crisis, during this shutdown? Well, the GMCVB we've been working on a lot of things. The first thing we've been doing is educating. So we've been gathering as much information as we can about the pandemic, about the guidelines, about what is allowed and not allowed when it comes to hotels and restaurants, and educating our stakeholders. We've been trying to mitigate the shutdown through additional marketing activities. And we've been working to try to help stimulate the recovery through a comprehensive business recovery plan, quickly regaining our market share. And I must say that these efforts have really been successful because we're seeing Miami to start to recover quicker than other destinations in our country. But we still have a long ways to go. And so some of the programs that you'll see on here, we quickly launched back in April of last year, a Miami Eats program, which was wonderful at showcasing our restaurants that offer dine-in and takeout as a safe way to support our local restaurants, as well as be able to get some great food. We had a virtual Miami program where on our website, miamibeaches.com, we listed all of the virtual events that were happening, specifically with our arts and culture institutions and our attractions. And we had a wonderful Miami Salutes program that helped raise awareness for the challenges in the hospitality industry and recognizing our frontline workers who were taking care of everyone during the pandemic. Just a few of the things that we were doing as a destination. And so as we come out of this, we've been working in partnership with the Greater Miami and Beaches Hotel Association to really help create a wonderful destination pledge where we are showcasing all of the efforts that we are doing in our community. And so with that, here's a wonderful video that talks about all of that.
The airport was a wonderful experience because that was what I was worried about the most.
Everyone's taking the precautions necessary in order for everyone to stay safe.
I think the hotel has made every effort to secure your feeling of feeling safe. There's guidelines everywhere. Everyone is wearing masks.
I'm actually down here working remotely, so it's like perfect, beach and work.
And the nicest thing is actually that even though everybody's wearing masks, you can still see them smile through their eyes.
They check your temperature when you first walk into the store. Everybody's wearing masks.
I recommend 100% shopping here in downtown Miami.
I would definitely recommend shopping on Lincoln Road.
Coming from New York, just being outside is huge.
COVID precautions are great when we arrive at the course, and everyone seems to be masked up, so I feel really safe and comfortable being here.
They had ambassadors greeting and showing you where to go. The tables were set up wonderfully for social distancing with just one person at each table.
I would absolutely recommend an in-person meeting at the Miami Beach Convention Center. I think they've made it completely safe.
There's a healthy balance between meeting in person and online.
Time to travel. Let's do it.
We love Miami. We love Miami.
I love Miami Beach.
So with that, I am going to pause real quick here. I want to check in to make sure that we are all still connected and good as I bounce over to the conference session. Good, it looks like everybody's still here. Wonderful, and I will now continue. So one of the things that I would like to share a little bit about is research and statistics. And so one of the things that we are doing for the community is really taking time to make sure we are checking on how the community is faring. And this is one of the things that's very important for business decisions. So strategically thinking about how the recovery is going and what sort of business decisions I need to make. Should I be spending more money hiring more employees? Is tourism coming back in our community? And do I need to prepare to offer additional rooms at my hotel available for incoming guests? And so with that, our research team pulled in some great statistics, and you'll see here from the screen about how we are faring. And so if you'll look back at this recovery index, this looks back at the past 90 days, approximately 90 days here. And so you can see back in early October how we were doing at Miami International Airport. And so this data is the index of how many people were traveling to Miami over the past 90 days. And so you see October, you see it start to come up here in November as we got into the Thanksgiving holiday season. You see a little spike there. If you look here at this spike, here's our Christmas holiday and the week between Christmas and New Year's. Going into New Year's Eve, you saw a spike there. Of course, the week after New Year's, as everybody traveled home to their, from Miami, going back home. And then we see a dip, but then look at this great encouraging sign as we go into the springtime season, where we are getting more and more travelers coming through Miami International Airport, because this index is really showcasing all about the air travel. I'm going to make this a little bigger so it's easier to see on your screen. The next thing that we look at is hotels, and hotels report how many people stay in their hotel properties. So we collect all of that information from all of the hotels in our area, and we're able to tell a story. And so you can see with hotels how they have gone up and down throughout the cycle of the pandemic. And so you'll see here very low hotels around the Christmas holidays, which is interesting because if you compare the hotel stays to the airport arrivals, you see airport is up. Well, was the airport up and the hotel down? Because visitors are coming to stay with friends and family. They're not staying in hotels. And so that's where you see a lot of that traffic. But you notice this spike here is hotels around the New Year's Eve time, where we were up as high as 80% during the New Year's holiday. And so as we progress throughout the spring, you see additional holidays and weekends. This is the President's Day weekend in February, you see it increase. And then of course into our time now as people are traveling during the spring break holiday. For dining, these are open table reservations. So anybody who makes a reservation on open table to go out for dinner, we're able to collect that data and see that it's indexing even above where we were back in 2019 prior to the shutdown. So all of these recovery indexes are very important to us, and they help us tell a big part of the story. And we use this information to create marketing campaigns to drive more people here to our destination. And so one of the campaigns that we worked on was a great campaign called Miami Land. And this really promoted our outdoor spaces. And we launched this campaign as a way to showcase Miami's great outdoor, socially distanced, spaced out resources that we have. And so with that, I'll share our Miami Land campaign video that many of you may have seen. Give it a second to load up here.
Welcome to Miami Land. Or rather, Miami's lands. Good news, it's not some new man-made theme park, but instead, it's the city's real wild side, Miami's great outdoors. No lines, no tickets, no limits. We don't need roller coasters! And our mascots don't wear costumes. We've got a 100,000-acre water park and 5 billion-star hotels. And best of all, it's found in Miami. Its backyard, in fact. So, when choosing your next vacation, ask yourself, do you want to be a character in someone else's adventure? Or do you want to write your own?
And so that's Miami land. And so you'll notice that throughout my information that I've shared this morning, think about all of the different career and job opportunities that you've seen. Certainly with Miami land, there's content creators, there's videographers, there's editors. We also have the marketing behind that. So the people that buy the advertising on TV and in print and on the web. We've talked about research and statistics, so data analysis, business intelligence decisions that have to be made. I've mentioned our convention sales and services. So these are the people that are out there selling Miami, trying to get meeting planners to come to Miami and book their next conference or convention here. And so the area that I work in is in cultural tourism. So what is cultural tourism all about? It's really, it's a fantastic thing, very rare job in the world of tourism, but one I'm incredibly proud to hold. And so my job is to create programs that will expand the global awareness of all of Miami's arts and culture assets. So everything to do with arts and culture in Miami, my job is to infuse that into our marketing efforts so that you get a little bit of arts and culture in all of the stories that we are telling to get people to come here. Because ultimately, I want visitors, when they come to Miami, to go to an arts and culture event, or visit a museum, or go see Miami City Ballet, or go to a concert at North Beach Bandshell with the Rhythm Foundation. Why is this important? Because as everything that we've talked about with the economy, arts and culture visitors, people that travel to see arts and cultural events, spend a lot of money. And so you'll see here from this Arts and Economic Prosperity Study by Americans for the Arts, a look at Miami-Dade County. And in Miami-Dade County, we see resident attendees of arts and culture events and non-resident attendees of arts and culture. And so the area that I really focus on is these non-resident attendees, because these are people that do not live here in Miami. These are part of that 24 million visitors that come to Miami every year. Of those 24 million, about 4.3 million are non-residents, which means they don't live here. They don't live in the county. So they could either be day trippers. Remember, we have about 7.8 million day trippers, as well as 16.3 million overnight visitors that make up the 24 million. So of that, I'm slicing the data a little further to look at non-resident attendees that go to arts and culture events. And so we see about 4.4 million of those people annually go to arts and cultural events that come here to visit. And the most important thing is that almost $210 million that these visitors spend in our community. And that's not just on tickets, but it could be a hotel stay if they're here overnight for Art Basel. It could be dining out if they are in town to see a Broadway show and they're going to go to dinner beforehand. And it's also, the cost that they spend while they're at the event. Maybe they're getting a snack at the concession bar, or maybe they're buying some merchandise and souvenirs from the Miami City Ballet performance that they just saw. So this is an important part of my work and where I focus all of my efforts, because it's great for business. In the United States, we see almost 68% of tourism decisions driven by art. And so these are people that are wanting to travel, they're wanting to visit a community, they're wanting to come to Miami, but they're wanting to come here because there is great art here. And not only, we've got the best of both worlds, because we have great beaches, we have great outdoor spaces, and we have great arts and culture community. We see 35.3 million people travel for the arts. So think about you and what you've done in your travel. Have you gone out of town to go to a concert Or have you visited New York to see a Broadway play? Or maybe you were in Chicago and you went to the great museums there. So that makes up 35.3 million. But the wonderful thing about these visitors that travel for arts and culture is they spend twice as much, because they are buying tickets to shows, they're shopping, they're getting souvenirs. Cultural tourists spend more. So we want more of these cultural tourists in our community. So what do we do to get more of them? Well, we put together great programs. And so I'm going to share a little bit about, on our website, our Temptation program. This is a great program that we have going on where we collect all of these great offers and deals from throughout our Miami attractions and museums and promote them on our site, miamiandbeaches.com. And so you'll see here on your site, we have a lot of different Temptation programs. We have Hotel Month coming up in June and September. We have Miami Spa Month in July and August. Many of you may have heard of Miami Spice. That is a program that the GMCVB runs with our restaurant partners. And so right now, going on in April and May, we have Attraction and Museums Month. And this is a great way for us to be able to collect wonderful offers and deals from throughout our attractions and museums and offer them to visitors as well as residents. So even you can go on to this website and get some great deals. We have a lot of featured deals here. Let's take a look at the Frost Science Museum, the Museum of Science. And they have put together an offer for April and May. And if you go in here to the website, you get some great photos on here. You can see a video about the Science Museum. And then you scroll down here, and here is their special offer. So let's see what they are offering. So this month, during April and May, you can save $5 off the Explorer ticket. And you can just simply download this coupon, print that out, take that in with the museum, and you get $5 off. And so it's a wonderful way for people to be able to experience these museums and attractions. Some of the other great offers that you'll see on here, if you continue scrolling down this homepage here, you can find some complimentary access to the Bass Museum, so free tickets to the Bass. Now this is a great deal, but because it's for everybody who stays at the Setai. So all of the guests at the Setai that are in from out of town can get complimentary access to the Bass Museum. So we have more than 50 offers here as part of this Temptation program. And so I work with our content team to reach out to all of these different attractions and museums to encourage them to give us these offers that we can promote through this program. Another great one that I like that I'm actually looking forward to trying out is a kayak program. So this is a BOGO offer. So if you buy one, you get one free, and you can go kayaking right out with Miami Eco Adventures. And there's a simple download the coupon. And so this is a wonderful way to get outside, to have a little adventure, and to see some of Miami you might not have seen otherwise. We have admission, buy one, get one to the Coral Gables Museum. Here's some discounts off Zoo Miami, which is open. It's a wonderful way to get out in 750 acres of outdoor space, as well as memberships to a lot of our museums are available on here as well. So with that, there's a lot to see and do. I will encourage all of you to please visit our website. Other things that are wonderful to seek out on here is our information and guidelines about travel. So, you know, if you're wondering what's open, what's closed, thankfully our curfew was lifted this week in Miami-Dade County, but we make sure that we put all of those guidelines and information here on this for the entire community and for our industry. You know, one of the things that we are really challenged with is international travel is not yet fully open. You can't travel back and forth to Europe, to South America very easily without guidelines in place, quarantines, testing. All of those things represent barriers to encouraging visitors to come back safely. And so we are constantly looking for all of the latest information that we can share on here on our website. And so with that, I will stop sharing my screen here, and I will look here to the chat to see if anybody's got any questions on here. And I'm going to go to the top so that I don't miss anybody. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for checking in. If you do have questions, feel free to type them out in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer them right now. We've got about a few more minutes left in this session. Thank you, Brandon, Jesus, Sydney. Here's a question from Brandon. Is there any way you can leave a link to this presentation? Because of course, I will leave a link to the presentation. I'm not sure the best way I can do that. I'll need to pop it into a PDF and send it to you. But I will, if you want to reach out to me directly, I'm happy to send it to you. My email address, I am popping in here so that you can reach out to me. It's very simple, john@gmcbb.com, and I'm happy to share this presentation with anyone who would like it. Able to put a link in the chat. Here's a question from Sabrina. Would you say the pandemic didn't affect the tourism in Miami according to those facts? So Sabrina, here's what I'll say, and that's a very good question. Yes, the pandemic did affect tourism in Miami. So you have to remember, we lost about 24,000 jobs. That's 24,000 people that were put out of work. They were laid off because we had to close hotels for a period of time. Many of our restaurants have closed and have yet to reopen. Many of them are hiring right now, but you have to remember that was a great loss to our community. And thankfully, we've had some help from some recovery programs, such as the PPP loans from the federal government. There's also been a lot of local outreach for the cities and the counties that have been supporting a lot of these job losses. But it really did, hurt our economy. And, you think about milestone things that happened here right before we went into the shutdown. We hosted the Super Bowl. We hosted the college football championships, the BCA championships this past January. And so you had a Super Bowl, which was before the shutdown, which meant a stadium full, hundreds of thousands of people here in Miami. Then we had the BCS championship game, which is the second most important football game in the country. And it was during the shutdown. So it was a very reduced capacity. The teams did not stay here very long. There was not a lot of money spent in the community. So we've got a lot of work to do to recover and a long ways to go before we'll get back. So it very much did affect us. But the one thing that I will say is that Miami will be recovering faster than other communities. And the reason is because we're a beautiful destination. We have lots of fabulous hotels. We have lots of things to do, a lot of attractions and museums and arts and culture. So there's a lot here in Miami to be thankful for, a lot of great assets that we have that will help us recover a lot quicker. And so is a few other questions here. What is the name of the website again? The name of the website, I'm typing it in the chat, miamiandbeaches.com, miamiandbeaches.com. It is the sort of all-encompassing website where we've got everything that you would need as a visitor to come in here for learning about the destination. Derek is asking, is photography part of this field? Photography is very much a part of this field. As you will see from my presentation and throughout our website, we have thousands of photographs throughout our destination marketing efforts. Again, we're looking for exceptional photography that can help tell that story about what makes Miami so good. And that happens through the visual eye. And we see that through great video, great photography. And so, yes, I encourage you, if you're going into these fields, every hotel is looking for amazing photographs of their property, of their hotel rooms. All of the visitors that are here are looking for great, amazing photographs. And so photography is an incredibly important part of the tourism industry. How long did this destination, I think Edmund is asking how long I've been working in destination marketing. Oh, he's asking about how long this is. The session ends at 11:30. I myself have been with the Bureau for coming up on 2.5 years. It'll be 3 years in September. And throughout my career, I've worked in arts and culture. In fact, my college degree is in music education. I was a middle school band director early in my career before moving into arts administration, where I've had the pleasure of working at the Adrian Arsh Center here in Miami. I've worked for the county's Department of Cultural Affairs. And so about 2.5 years ago, I was able to join the team at the GMCVB as the Director of Cultural Tourism. And so Brandon is asking about, what would you say is the best paying job in hospitality and tourism in Miami? Wow, Brandon's after the dollars. He wants to get paid. So Brandon, here's what I would say to you is there are a lot of different ways that you can make a very successful living in the hospitality and tourism industry. Some of the top paying jobs in the field include things like a general manager of a hotel, an owner, operator, or general manager of a restaurant. Certainly, you think about Titan Industries, for instance, the head of Carnival Cruise Lines, Mr. Arnold Donald, probably makes close to $1 million a year running Carnival Cruise Lines. Again, that's $1 billion company, a huge industry. There's a lot of great ways that you can be involved. It depends on what your interest is and what your passion is. And I would say this to all of you, make sure that whatever you're seeking to do, you love. And it's not just about the money, because the money won't always be there, as we've seen during this pandemic. 24,000 people laid off. I myself had a pay cut. I've had some of my benefits taken away because the tourism industry has decreased. It has shrunk. We don't have the revenues coming in. But I would say, some of the best jobs to start off on are, think about what you love to do. Do you love to travel? Do you love, staying in hotels? Do you like, the airline industry? Do you love getting on a plane and going somewhere? I mean, within all of those fun, amazing things to do, there's a job related to it. And so that's the beauty of the hospitality and tourism industry, is it's so big. Remember, we have 144,000 employees working in this industry right here in Greater Miami. And I'm sure many of you have friends and family that are working in this industry. So I think the best job for you to start off in is the one that you just, your dream job. What would make you happy to go in and do every single day? Because remember, I come into work, I work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, nights and weekends. I do get to travel around the world, promoting Miami as a destination, taking all of this information, all of these sights and sounds that you've seen today, and I take them out to the world and encourage people to come. And so, it's really, an honor for me to work as an ambassador for our community, but as a way to give back and make sure that my home, Miami, stays strong, stays healthy and vibrant, and continues to prosper. Any other questions? We've got a few minutes left, and I hope you all are taking advantage of your NAF programs. Certainly the Academy of Hospitality and Tourism, I'm honored to serve on the advisory board, and they have a great summer internship program. Internships can be a fantastic way to learn about the industry. I've had the pleasure of hosting many interns throughout my career in a variety of positions. So please, I hope you will seek that out. Sometimes these internships are paid, which is great. Sometimes they're not. But again, the education is a very important thing. Brandon's asking, have you met any celebrities during your career? Well, naturally, yes. We've met a lot of celebrities, certainly a lot of celebrities that I would know through the arts and culture world, because that's primarily where I've worked. I also have a personal passion for tennis, so I've been able to meet a lot of the tennis stars that come in for things like the Miami Open. We host a lot of sporting events here, both with baseball and football. So I've been able to meet many of those players as they've come into town. When we hosted the Super Bowl, all of the players are doing press appearances. You have a lot of celebrities in town. So yes, you do actually have the opportunity to meet a lot of celebrities. I got to meet Samantha Brown, and she hosts, a travel show, and she's fantastic. I've been in the room with J-Lo and A-Rod at events before. I've met the Estefans. So, yes, you do get to meet celebrities. Sabrina's asking, how has the government provided any relief for the tourism industry during this pandemic? And Sabrina, I will say, yes, they have. Many of the programs that the government has provided have been by way of the general support programs, like the PPP loan program, which just offered resources to small businesses. Many of our industry partners are small businesses. We did see during the latest recovery funding that CBBs, so organizations like ours, are now eligible to receive some additional funding. And they're also putting more money into the tourism industry to help market these destinations. And so I think that's going to be a big help. The federal government has also provided a lot of support for the airline industry. And again, Miami International Airport is a big part of our industry mix here. So to see them get support to be able to weather the pandemic has been very helpful. Michael's asking, have you met any NBA players during your time in your career? I have. I've been to, quite a few of the Miami Heat games where I've had the pleasure to, go to receptions and events and celebrations with many of the Heat players. Derek is asking, do you know how much money photographers make in the field? The range for photography is very different. Many photographers work as independent consultants, so they get to charge their own fees and set their own rates. It's very rare for you to actually have a photographer on staff. So many times when we're looking to do a photo shoot or a photo campaign, we will look out a local photographer that has worked in this area. So, they are able to really set and manage their own rates depending on the scope, how many images are needed. Are you also doing touch-up and editing? All of those things play into how much money a photographer can make in the field. Personally, I don't know a dollar amount, so I'm so sorry I can't share. Edvin's asking about soccer player during my time in career. I've not met any of the soccer players, although I was at an event where David Beckham was on stage when they were announcing the Miami Football Club coming to Miami. So I didn't get to meet him, but I was in the same room with David Beckham, and of course, sure, a lot of other soccer stars that were there as well. And then Sabrina's asking, and I think this is a great place to close, Sabrina, what has been the highlight of my career? Well, I must say that since joining the Bureau 2.5 years ago, being able to travel outside of the country has been a true highlight for me. I've had the opportunity to visit, to go to travel shows in Bogota, Colombia. I've been to London several times. I had the pleasure to go to Art Basel in Basel, Switzerland 2 years ago for the Art Basel show there. And as well as I've been able to travel to the Art Basel show in Hong Kong, China. And so, to be able to leave and experience other communities and see how other cities and countries work and operate, and to be able to see their arts and culture, to meet them and their people, as well as, taste the amazing foods that are out there, has just been incredibly rewarding. And I think that kind of passion instilled in me helps me work hard, because I know that, at the end of the day, I'm truly honored to be in this role and to be able to experience Miami from my point of view, and then to be able to go out and invite people from around the world to come to Miami to experience what we get to live every single day. So thank you all. I really appreciate that. Again, for the PowerPoint, I would encourage you to please email me at john@gmcbb.com for the PowerPoint. I will work on also getting the PowerPoint turned into a PDF, and hopefully the NAF Mega Industry Conference can get this disseminated to everyone, because I want you all to have it. And if you have any questions at any time, please don't hesitate to shoot me an email. Looking forward to responding, and I wish you all the best in your careers, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the conference. Thank you all. Thank you guys, I really appreciate it. All right, so for the few of you that are still here, here is a link to the PowerPoint presentation. And feel free to share that with anyone. I hope you can access it okay. I've got it shared there in the chat. But I will also make sure to turn it into a PDF, and we'll make sure everyone gets a copy of it. All right. Thank you again, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.